Hi, what's going on, you guys? And welcome to another episode or segment of All Things Labelo. Today we're going to talk about COVID 19 TERS. I'm going to explain step by step what it is actually all about. COVID 19 TERS is actually stemming from something else. Actually, it was previously called TERS, Temporary Employer Employee Relief Scheme only. It was actually introduced in late 2018 already. But for the purpose of that was for the employer to access money or funding that was available for the company that was in distress at the time. And then since then, COVID-19 has started and it morphed into something quite gigantic, and it is a national platform now they're actually using that platform for the COVID-19 relief scheme, because obviously COVID has directly impacted on businesses. So that's why it's now been introduced. So now that COVID-19 TERS has existed, it has highlighted how important the UIF structure is, actually the concept of UIF in general, especially from the employer side. Many companies that have never registered for UIF find the importance of registering the company now, but unfortunately for them, they won't be able to qualify. But I will highlight and I'll explain who can qualify and who cannot qualify for UIF, for the COVID-19 UIF. So for the first time in the history of UIF, it has now come to the fore now that, or they have been very proactive by allowing the money to be disbursed to the employer. That has never happened before. The traditional sense of UIF is for the employee to claim UIF at the Department of Labour offices. But now, since of the magnitude of this disease, for the sake of expediency, they have allowed employers now to get the money, and they make an application on behalf of the employee. Normally, the employer just had to fill in the documents, and the employer send it off to the Department of Labour, and the employee goes to the offices and claim the money there. You see, so now the game and the dynamics has completely changed. So the money is now disbursed to the employer, and ultimately the money must be disseminated to the employees. Of course, now the reality is that the money is now not filtering through to the employees. We can now actually see now the distrust between the employer and the employees, and this made the relationship actually much more volatile now, because the employer is for some reason not trickling down the money that is paid to the employees. And that's why I thought that I should be fitting for me to explain the process in terms of the COVID-19 terms, the rules that goes with that, so that everybody can understand what needs to take place. There's great confusion with regards to this thing, so I hope I will be able to shed some light in the process of COVID-19 TERS. So now that the money is not disbursed, the Department of Labour realized that, and actually what they're going to do is it's billions of rands that they have spent to the employers. They actually are hiring an audit company to be able to audit this money trail and actually find out where the money is being paid over to the employees. And remember, the employees are supposed to get every cent that is due to them in terms of the calculation. That's why they have made a platform where employees can actually check whether what amount of money is obligated by the employer to pay over. So let's say you're getting an amount of 4,371 cents. That exact amount is supposed to be disbursed to you as an employee. Before I continue, please like and subscribe to our channel, and you will also find out we have previous videos that are in relation to UIF, because we have been speaking about UIF for the longest time. You see, we explain UIF in detail in our preview. You will see how, if you go check the dates where we put our UIF content, it has always been there, and we've advocating about UIF and the concept of UIF and how it works for the longest time. Now this has just, the COVID-19 thing has just put UIF again in a whole new spotlight, and that's why I thought that I should really explain it. So please like and subscribe to our channel, and we will put a link up in the description to see our other content in relation to UIF. Like I mentioned to you, there is a platform for you to go and check what the amount is allocated to you, and you can even see whether the employer did apply for you or not. Now, if you want any of those details, please go to my Facebook page called All Things Labor Law. I put up links on there. I give complete guidances as to how you can access the money, the application process, even the phone numbers where you can call if you're having a problem. All that information is readily available on my Facebook page. And please like the page, and so you can be able to get latest information about your employment rights, UIF, like literally as my name suggests, all things labor related or labor law you will basically find on this channel and on my Facebook page. So who can claim UIF? It's basically all employees. In fact, all companies can claim UIF. If you are registered at the Department of Labor for UIF and you have a UIF reference number, you can claim UIF. You can access this money. You can make an application for this money. Even informal companies can apply. Even companies like spaza shops. If you a business is registered, if you're a small business, you're a spaza shop, maybe you're a hair salon, even domestic workers, they all can claim this benefit, just provided that you are registered with the Department of Labor for UIF. Another important thing to remember when in relation to UIF, the Department of Labor and UIF, they draw no distinction between a casual worker or a temporary worker or a permanent worker. If you work and you render a service in exchange for remuneration, you are automatically deemed an employee, so you are eligible for that. So don't worry about that aspect. That is the work dynamic. It's got nothing to do with Department of Labor. But the bottom line is, you need to remember is that you are entitled to it, and your employer is supposed to claim UIF. If your business is not registered after the 15th of March 2020, you will unfortunately not be eligible to apply for this money. The duration for the UIF benefit is for the duration of 3 months, and the 3 months that is in question, that is only for April, May and June of 2020. There is no other. This is just a special fund, so it only runs for this period. After this, there is no more. This will be no more. It will be the last. We are actually in July now, but there's people that hasn't received their monies for May and June. Most people I've come to realize is that they have received their first payments for the month of April. And another thing to remember is that you're going to have to make 3 separate applications for the 3 months that's available. This platform, this money is available to you. So for April, you apply separately. When May is there, you apply for May. When you get the money for May, you apply for June. So we're in July now, but the platform for applications for June only opened a couple of weeks ago in the time of making this video. So it's important to remember that for 3 separate months, you have to apply on 3 separate occasions. So how long do you have to take? How long does this process take? Well, ideally it only supposed to take 10 days, but of course the reality doesn't allow for that to happen. First thing that needs to take place is that all supporting documents must be filled in correctly by the employer, and the authorized person who was able to fill in and sign the documents must be at the Department of Labor. So they will vet those documents and see if everything is in place. So then if let's assume everything is in place, on top of that there's a high volume and a high influx of applications. So I don't think it will take 10 days. I mean, people are still struggling that has applied for even their first payments for April. They made an application a long time ago for April, and some of them haven't even gotten paid. There's a high backlog, and the only thing is that you're gonna have to be patient. The money will eventually come. So how much money will you get? Well, the amount of money that is calculated is obviously on a sliding scale. If you watch my previous video, I explained that about UIF. Basically, same principle exactly. Don't forget, there's a link is on the description above, and you will be able to see how UIF works. But coming back to this is that the minimum amount of money you can get is 3,500 rand. Now, the nice thing about this is that even if you're a domestic worker and you have been earning less than that a month, even though you've been earning less than that, you will get the 3,500 rand, because this calculation is based on the national minimum wage. The maximum amount of money that you can get is an amount of 6,389 cents. So that also works in a sliding scale. If you want to learn further about the calculation, I explained that in our other video in relation to UIF. If you're interested in knowing about the national minimum wage, we have a specific video especially made for you in relation to the national minimum. People are afraid of wanting to know whether if in the event they get retrenched, will they still get the normal UIF? Well, you will be able to get your normal UIF even though you claim COVID. COVID-19 is a special application. It's actually got nothing to do with the normal UIF. In fact, that the COVID-19 UIF benefit is not even this money doesn't belong to the employer. This money doesn't belong to, not even to the UIF. This money was specially allocated by the government. And even some of the money from the Solidarity Fund is funded in there. So the money can be disbursed to the masses of people, masses of employees out there. So that's important to remember, that even if you get retrenched, you will get your normal money, and you will even after you've received your COVID-19 TERS. So the only platform you can apply for this money is online. There's no other platform for you to apply. Since the Department of Labour has realized that the money is not disbursed, they even made an application process online for the employees to claim their COVID-19 TERS directly themselves, so the money can be paid directly to their bank accounts. It's important for you to know that platform is also now exists for you to be able to apply for your money. So you can't go to the Department of Labour, to the Labour Centre to apply for COVID-19. There's no way that you can be able to do it. The only platform is online. So don't be too worried if there's the delays in the payments. You must remember you will get this money. Even if the platform is even open for you to apply for the money now. Even today still you can still apply, even for April. So don't worry, you will get your money. It's just that there's a delay and there's a backlog, as I outlined earlier on, is that the money will eventually get to the appropriate and relevant person. Okay, there's quite a few things that has now happened since this thing has been instituted. There's many things that is happening, and there's lots of confusion in terms of what needs to take place with regards to the money. And employees are complaining about things that is happening that not supposed to be happening, but I'll have to make it clear as to what the process is and how the money should be disbursed. If you operate fully, the employer can't pay a portion of the salary to you. So that's important to remember. You can't operate and you make an application for COVID-19. That doesn't make sense. But for some reason, employers have now done that. They have operated fully and they had full production. They weren't really directly affected by the COVID-19, but yet they made an application. That money is unfortunately will have to be sent back to the department. Like I said, they will do an audit on this, and if they see that you're not supposed to be applying and you pay the money, we'll have to pay that money back to the Department of Labour. So just remember that this benefit is only there as a direct result of your business and employees being negatively affected by this pandemic. Another thing to remember is the full amount allocated must be paid directly to the employees. So like I said earlier, if you get an amount of 5,321, that 5,321 must be directly paid to you as an employee. There can be no deductions from that money at all from the employer side. For the employer, there are other relief schemes if the company is suffering financial losses, and the COVID-19 is specifically only for the employees' relief. So employer, if you have a problem with the financial constraints, there is other platforms that you can use. If you actually go through the speech that the president has made, he outlines nicely what relief you have as an employer to be able to access financial relief that the government has made. So if you want the links and you want further guidance in terms of how to do the application process, I have made it readily available on my Facebook page. There's posts there. Just scroll through all the posts. I have made it clear there. There's links. Everything is available for you to be able to get guidance to how to do the application. And even if you want to engage me, you're welcome to do that. You can send me an email. It's on the channel, or you can just leave a comment, and then I will be able to get back to you. You can even engage me onto the Facebook page, so we can be able to get you to be able to have a successful application. So thank you very much for your patience, and I hope that you have learned as to how things must be within the workplace.